What's up, guys? CyberHoudini here, and welcome back to the Daily Dose of Gaming. It is the 1st of July. We've made it to July. Where the hell has this year gone? But yes, we've made it to the 7th month. Usually this is like summertime drought, but it seems like the gaming news just won't stop. It is heating up. Thought it'd be nice to kick off this month going over a couple of this month's game releases. We're going to be talking about Bully 2 rumors, and Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has finally been announced. I hope you're all doing well. Hello, how's it going, DPG? Welcome on in. Are you thinking of playing some more Halo? Awesome. So yeah, we've got a very busy day planned. We're going to be doing the Daily Dose, then moving on to Ender Lilies, this gorgeous new indie game, this Metroidvania I've been enjoying, and finally some more Demon Souls because I'm an addict. I'm addicted to you. Alright, cool. So let's kick things off. No messing around today. So we're going to kick things off with July's release date. These are only a small selection of the games coming out this month. Of course, we're going to have a lot of more indie games and that as well. But yeah, straight off the bat, having games like Monster Hunter Stories coming out, that's going to be huge. Yeah, number 2, The Wings of Ruin. This is kind of like a spin-off series that was made for the Switch. I think it's more turn-based combat than traditional, like, freestyle hack and slash stuff that everybody's used to. One I'm super excited for is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. I'm excited for that one. We'll probably finish off Biomutant before then. That'll be a lot of fun. Let's see, can Nintendo fix what most people consider one of the worst 3D Zelda games? Well, we'll see. I think it's still got a lot to it. You know, it's got an interesting villain, a couple of interesting villains, which is pretty cool. Last Up, I don't know too much about Last Up. There you go. Let's see, and Great Ace Attorney Chronicles is awesome. Nice to see that coming back in a big way. I'd like to see Professor Layton as well come back. I know they're two completely different series, but I think they're trying to do something like that now. They're trying to go back in time, which is pretty cool. They like Sherlock Holmes and puzzle games. Those games are definitely for you. And then Neo the World Ends With You on the 27th as well. Funny how a couple of games are releasing at the same time. Nearly all those games are. It's crazy. Why did they do these things? But Neo the World Ends With You is the sequel to a beautiful niche game that was on the DS back in the day. The World Ends With You. It's Square Enix. It's got a kind of Kingdom Hearts style to it, but it's more anime, more cell shaded, and it's also set in Shibuya in Japan, which is really cool. So it'd be awesome to see how that works out. I know there's a demo for Neo the World Ends With You out right now. Hello, Lacuna. How's it going? Nice to see you come back. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Always correct me if I'm not. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Demon Souls has been amazing. I'm definitely doing the bosses in a weird order, but we've officially got past to where I've ever got, further than I've ever got in that game. So it's exciting. Who knows what the next boss will be? And we have the Microsoft Flight Simulator coming out, which will be out on the Xbox S and X, which will be pretty cool to see that come to console. I know Age of Empires is coming to console too. I love to see that, these games that were traditionally, PC only coming to console. It can work. It can definitely work. I'm a fan of strategy games. I haven't played one in a while, but Command & Conquer, fucking awesome. And Age of Empires, of course, classic series. And then Halo Wars was super fun. I don't know if you played some of those, DPG. They're strategy based, but still awesome. This is a little kind of game news show I like to do at the start of most of the streams if there's enough news going around. Basically a little daily dose of gaming, as I call it. And then finally The Ascent, which I've talked about before, which is a very cool co-op top-down game that they're going for 120 frames a second. I think it's going on the Game Pass as well. Very futuristic cyberpunk goodness. Hell yes. Alright, let us kick on to one of the bigger news stories for today. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut has finally been announced. Now, we had rumors of this coming, and also rumors of a new game coming, Ghost of Ikushima, which would be another island off the coast of Japan. And as it turns out, they are but one and the same. The Ghost of Ikushima will be a big expansion that will be part of the Director's Cut, which is really cool. So it's coming out August 20th, which is really close. It's going to have a lot of PS5. It's coming to PS4 as well, but it's got a lot of PS5, little improvements in that. Like, you're going to have adaptive triggers for the bow and arrow. I suppose, vibration, the dual sense stuff, all that haptic feedback. Yeah, so it looks awesome. The new expansion, they showed off very, very briefly. But it looks nice. Let me just rewind to that. Can I get a rewind? We'll turn off the volume. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima is an incredible game. A new IP from the Sucker Punch devs. I know a lot of people want them to go back to Infamous. Maybe they will in the future. But it's nice. We thought we might get like a full side game, but it's going to be a whole new island with new things to do. So it's a nice way of doing it. Maybe we'll get director's cuts in different games as well. It's also going to have a upgrade path way of doing things where it's not necessarily going to be a free upgrade, but it's still pretty nice. I think it's pretty cheap. Right down the bottom, it tells you all the goodies you need to know. A little bit confusing, but just basically think of it as having to buy the new DLC. So basically, the director's cut will launch on its own. You can pre-order a beautiful statue and all that. It'll launch on its own for the normal price, you know, $60 on PS4 and $70 on PS5. But if you have it on PS4, you can upgrade to the director's cut for $20, which is not so bad, you know, not so bad. Actually, look, it says if you bought the director's cut on the PS4, you can upgrade the PS5 for a tenner, which is really good. So yeah. And then if you want to just go directly from the PS4 version to the director's cut on PS5, which would probably be the better way of doing it, you can do that for $30. So it's basically like just buying a new expansion, you know, or a season pass. Think of it like that. I think this is probably the best way of doing it. They could have done it for free, but trust me, this expansion is huge. You know, it's a whole new island. You know, and you're going to be getting massive updates to what's it called as well. To Legends, which I haven't played, which is the multiplayer stuff, which I hear is quite extensive as well. Just kind of cool. So I think this is a great idea of doing it for sure. You know, it's basically like DLC, but you know, it'll be a bit chunkier. A lot of people thought it'd be like Uncharted Lost Legacy. It might still be, you know, as big as that. We'll see. We shall see. The Ghost of Tsushima itself was kind of split up into interconnected islands anyway, you know, so it'll feel pretty natural. Most of what they've shown so far of Ikushima, the new island, it looks beautiful. They definitely decided to kind of push on with a lot of color, which I'd love to see. You're going to play the director's cut. I think it is worth it. Like, I know, like, it might feel like a lot of money, but if you're thinking about, like, the season passes that people get or DLC expansions, you know, I would see it as big as something like maybe Blood and Wine from The Witcher 3. We'll see, you know, it's all up in the air for now, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Like, it did a lot of great things, Ghost of Tsushima, and I know there's a lot of things they could change and fix in a possible sequel down the line, but who knows what they'll do, who knows. It did very well for them. They had a lot of, for me, in terms of side quests and just things to do in the open world, I felt like that was where they needed to work on it. But usually that's kind of the teething issues with brand new IPs and open worlds, you know. They've all kind of suffered from it, but it usually gets sorted out by the second game where they expand on everything. But I'm hoping Sucker Punch, like, they're a very accomplished studio. I really hope at this point that they're thinking of multiple teams in-house, because now is the time, you know, a new generation. I would love to see them go back and work on Sly Cooper and go back and work on Infamous, all the while, you know, if they want to keep working on Ghost of Tsushima too, you know. It's well known that most big studios have multiple teams, and this is definitely a very successful studio for Sony, and they've been with Sony a good while now, so I think that'd be a no-brainer. You know, it looks like that's what's going on with Naughty Dog. They seem to have 2 or even 3 teams right now. One apparently working on a Last of Us remake, another working on a brand new IP called Stray's Cross, first person Portal meets like Uncharted or something like that, first person. I don't know, we'll see. And then obviously whatever they're doing with Last of Us 2 factions, Last of Us Part 2 factions, which I think they're going to make it a standalone title with multiplayer and all that. We'll see. It's interesting times for sure. But I would definitely be, if I was Sony, I would be bolstering these studios. They definitely can maintain the quality being first party. That's what I would do. You know, allow them to work on multiple stuff, because I feel like even like the massive success of you know, Guerrilla with Horizon Zero Dawn and now Horizon Forbidden West, I don't want them to get stuck with just Horizon either, because that's exactly what happened to them with Killzone, and we eventually saw that series just kind of fall from grace, and it just felt like a little cookie cutter. I mean, they're still very competent shooters, but you know, you're not gonna feel the need to go back and play them 100 times. So yeah, it'd be nice to see them work on other stuff. You know, if you've got really great teams that are first party, they all kind of suffer from this. Xbox is horrendous at doing that. It seems like one studio will just focus on one game, and I just feel like it's a bit wasteful. Like, look at how long it's taken for Halo Infinite to come out, and they're on a streak of a couple of bad Halo games in a row. You know, so why not let them work on something else? Let them flex their muscles and you know, I don't know. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I'm excited for this. I do think it's worth it. It's a nice upgrade. You know, here's the thing. You can go out there and pick up Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 for, you know, if you're lucky, maybe 20 or 30 bucks. And then you could go and use this upgrade pack here, you know, and then, you know, you won't feel like you're actually paying that much for the director's cut at all. Or, you know, if it works out the way it does, then you could just buy it at the new price and still be, you know, getting a good deal. But it's a great game. We'll have to see. It might be something I might play down the line. I don't know how I feel about like returning to it so soon, but we'll see. Hasn't been that long since I played it. But yeah, it's an incredible game, and I wish the best for them. Hopefully, this is a sign of them letting, you know, a side team maybe work on this expansion while they push on with something else. Who knows? Love to see a new Infamous game. Exactly, yeah. Now, they did recently unlock the frame rate for Infamous Second Son, so if you were to play that on PS5, which I have messed around with, it boosts it up to 60. Now, it's always been a pretty, you know, smooth game, but the 60 really helps it for sure. For sure. Hell yes. Alright, on to another little piece of news. This is a very small piece of news, just an update on Dead Space. I've been talking about this. We know that there's rumors flying around everywhere of a reboot, a collection, a remake. Everything's going on right now. Apparently, it's EA Motive who did Star Wars Squadrons, and they were working on a couple other games. But we know the EA Play is coming up on this month. Now we're hit July. It's right at the end of July, though, so we have some time to wait. But it looks like little tiny signs of things happening is starting to show up, you know. So it's very small, but apparently the logo for the Dead Space YouTube channel, the official channel, they updated their profile picture for the first time in 8 years. Now, usually you just go, dude, it's just a profile picture, but that channel has not been touched in 8 years, so something's going on. Now, apparently it had the Dead Space 3 profile picture, and they switched it to a Dead Space 2. Now, that just might mean nothing, but in my personal opinion, I would say if I was to put a bet on it, I'd say they'd probably do a collection, seeing as the Mass Effect Legendary Edition has done so well. But I'd be down for anything. Like Dead Space 1 could do with a cheeky remake. It is perfect though, but you know, in terms of a remake, I just want them to, you know, like how Bluepoint have done with Demon Souls, you know, keep everything pretty much the same way it is, just give it a beautiful facelift, you know. That's a true faithful remake, you know. Don't change things. Don't change things around. I wish we could be that lucky that Bluepoint could remake everything, but there you go. There you go. The rumors around Bluepoint just keep heating up all over the place. It is absolutely crazy, but I wish the best for Dead Space, one of my favorite series on the 360. You know, amongst so many great series like BioShock and Mass Effect and the Batman Arkham games. It was just a great generation. It's insane. Boop. Alright, let's see. So, do I have... What's this one here? Oh, yeah, this is more... oh, yeah, okay. I'm trying to... Did I not... I mustn't have posted, did I? I didn't. Okay, well, basically, surrounding Bluepoint, which I've been talking about a good bit. We know that... Did I... Let me double check here. I swear I had this pulled up. I must have clicked out of it. Damn, that's annoying. Dude, I'm going crazy. Did I not have this pulled up? I must have clicked out of it. So basically, we know about Bluepoint possibly working on, you know, maybe a Metal Gear Solid game, a reboot. They've done remakes for Shadow of the Colossus and a remake for Demon Souls. And 2 years ago, before Demon Souls Remake was announced, they tweeted out a very suspicious tweet that mentioned Metal Gear Solid. They mentioned like Siphon Filter, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. They mentioned so many games, Demon Souls obviously, and then that ended up coming true. So I would well believe that they possibly are working on either Castlevania or Metal Gear Solid right now, which would be pretty cool. I'd be down for either of them. Alright, cool. I must have clicked off this. But speaking of, yeah, Blooper is a team that have worked on games like The Medium, the Blair Witch game, the Layers of Fear games, Observer. They're a very competent horror studio based out of Poland. But just recently, they announced a massive collaboration with none other than Konami. And we know that there is a possibility of maybe more than one Silent Hill game coming, which is pretty insane. Now, the only issue I have with this, I think Blooper are a great team, but I also, they don't do combat in their games at all. They just don't really do it. So, I mean, they've tried to dip their toes in it a little bit in some of the games, but it's just not the same. So if they are going to make a Silent Hill game, we're gonna need combat. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need guns. Like the Silent Hill combat over the years has always been, it's very light and it's unique. You know, it's just basically melee weapons and a couple of guns, but it's always kind of had that perfect sense where Resident Evil always took it a little bit too far with rocket launchers and things like that. But it was awesome for Resident Evil. Whereas Silent Hill really embodied the whole part of survival horror, where it's survival, you know, you were running out of bullets and things like that. So yeah, I'd love to see that. So maybe with the collaboration with Konami, you know, maybe is there anyone left in that studio that has any talent? I don't know, but maybe they can kind of guide them to actually start adding combat, because they have done a couple of games that are third person. Even their most recent game, The Medium, was third person and fixed camera angles, which is the embodiment of, you know, old school Silent Hill and Resident Evil. So it'd be pretty cool. And the other Silent Hill is supposed to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive. It's meant to be like a reboot or something, not connected to Silent Hills, I don't think, but maybe they might be able to use up some. But I think I actually have a tweet here from Andy Robinson, who is an editor over there at VGC. So usually when these guys tweet out, you know, they have, you know, your reputation's kind of on the line, so you don't want to be just making up false rumors. Definitely. So a lot of them do have sources, and they check and double check their sources. So I try and, you know, obviously take everything I say and everything these people say with a grain of salt. Of course, these things may never happen. Sometimes things just get shut down, but you never hear the true story behind it, you know. So he's basically been talking about what's going on next for Silent Hill, you know. I did a whole little kind of expose around this new indie game called Abandoned, which a lot of people are thinking, almost conspiracy theory wise, that it may be the new Silent Hill game. And we'll see about that. It's all up in the air. All up in the air. The thing that is a red flag for me is the fact that people think that Kojima might be involved. And Hideo Kojima and Konami are at a vicious war, you know. They do not want to deal with each other right now. But, you know, if Sony was to buy the IP, or if they were to work with Sony, you know, given the right amount of money, maybe Hideo Kojima might actually do something. It's hard to know. New Dead Space game would be amazing. Absolutely. As long as EA doesn't be EA. I know. That's what they did with Dead Space 3. They really did ruin it. It still has a lot of great moments, but you could tell the team were just sick of, you know, being told to go this way and that way. I felt so bad for them. I really did. But who knows, you know, a remastered trilogy would be very nice, because it's not that easy to get it on both platforms, you know. PlayStation especially, it's tough. Yeah, some of your favorites. Silent Hill is more psychological horror. Yeah. Oh no, you're dead right there, but there are massive fights, like up until the point of, you know, boss fights and that. Oh yeah. Oh, like think Pyramid Head, you know, this indestructible motherfucker. No, it's always had big boss fights, but you're right, it's always been very psychological. But to me, when I hear psychological nowadays, it's always like, oh, it's in your mind, it's this and that, it's not a monster, you had a virus all along or some shite. Especially in new horror movies, which are piss poor, sadly. But some good ones kind of creep out of the weeds, but very rarely. So yeah, with Silent Hill, she is the mother of survival horror. when you know you're always half dead. But I agree. I actually like games. There was this game back in the day. It's not that good or anything, but I think it's called I Am Alive, and it was a post-apocalyptic game where you just had one clip nearly for the whole game, and the whole idea was even if you ran out of bullets, you were meant to kind of like play this mind game with the enemies where you would, you know, pull an empty gun on someone and basically bluff your way, like shit talk to him, try and scare him, back him down so you could bonk him on the head. It was a really cool idea, and I'd love to see something like that implemented into Silent Hill. Obviously, you're not going to shit talk and make a monster back down, but you know what I mean? Like, really start messing with the player's mind. Like, I would have loved to see what Silent Hills could have become, because PT was amazing. That would have been a small chunk, but imagine like that level of horror was very close to what they did in Silent Hill 4, The Room, where once you were back inside that room, it was just the haunting moments were, that was truly some of the scariest moments in Silent Hill. Like, Silent Hill's always been a mix of like body shock horror and kind of sexual horror in a way, you know. It was always about somebody's like deep-seated like oppressive kind of memories and that, you know. It was very, very incredibly done, you know. A lot of people would say, and me including, that Silent Hill 2 is probably the magnum opus of the Silent Hill series, but it's very different than the rest. Like, it connects to none of them. It's a very personal story and fucked up story about James Sunderland, you know. But 1 and 3 connect to each other. 4 has little bits from all of the games, but 2 will always, it doesn't even feel like it's part of the whole series. It's wild, and that's why I love it. It's a very you know, troubled, sick man's journey, basically. You know, you kind of feel for him, but by the end of the game, you don't care what happens to him. You'd actually prefer if he was to end up dead, because it's just that kind of way. But it's incredible, like, for a game all the way back then, you know. How's it going, Bernie? How are you doing? So, from Andy Robinson over at VGC, this is what he reckons is going on right now. This is what he's heard. It's interesting about Supermassive, who, you know, they did Until Dawn, then moved on. They're currently working on the Dark Pictures anthology. They've done Man of Medan, Little Hope, and now House of Ashes is coming out this fall. I think they're probably going to do like 4 or 5 out of that anthology. So far, those games they've been very good. You know, I don't think they're going to be horror classics or anything. But they've been very good. I don't think any one of them live up to Until Dawn, because the fact of the matter is, if you want to do a really good horror game, you know, it may be a classic trope, but, you know, teen slasher horror will always be the best. And Until Dawn, not to get spoilery or anything, it didn't disappoint. It wasn't just some dude in a mask. But they implemented so many different movies into it. I really enjoy that game, and it's a pretty long game too. Whereas the Dark Pictures games, you know, they're always a fun little 4 to 6 hours kind of thing, you know, or even less. But they're still fun, you know, and they're doing very well. This way, they're able to put out a game each year for around €30, €30, which I think is very clever. That keeps the lights on. It keeps everybody working. Very clever idea. I'd like to see what else. So, apparently they were approached by Konami. Konami has done this before, where obviously a lot of their talent is gone. They have not made a good game in years, since Kojima left. So what they've done even before this is they try and basically outsource all of their games. So they own the IP. As much as it pains us to say that, I wish they'd just sell, you know, Metal Gear Solid, Castlevania, and Silent Hill to Sony already, you know. But they'll never do that because they're, you know, businessmen. Fucking idiots. But, yeah, so it's definitely flopped before. Silent Hill, very notoriously, after Team Silent kind of split up after Silent Hill 4. They outsourced a lot of Silent Hill games to American, just Western studios, and they were, you know, very, very widely known to be not the best. You know, there was a couple little bright sparks in there, but overall it was kind of a bad move. And just recently, you know, talking about the new Contra game, and Metal Gear Solid Survive, or Metal Gear Survive, was rough. It was Metal Gear with zombies. Felt like an add-on for Metal Gear Solid 5, and not its own game they were charging money for, good God. So yeah, it's interesting. So right now they're once again trying to outsource these games, but we're in a very different state than we were back when they put out, like, you know, Silent Hill Homecoming and things like that. So I would well believe that there may be a massive collaboration with Sony going on, as well as with Blooper, who you know, did the the Layers of Fear game. So I think the future is definitely looking up for Silent Hill for sure. We'll see with Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid. For Metal Gear Solid, I would say there's probably a good chance that Bluepoint are probably working on a remake of that, which would be pretty cool. They did actually work on the HD collection of Metal Gear Solid, so it's a no-brainer, you know. And maybe Konami see the money made and the quality of Shadow of the Colossus and Demon Souls. So yeah, it'd be a no-brainer. Now, if these games do come out and if it is a collaboration with Sony, they will be PlayStation exclusive. It's just how it is. So yeah, but I mean, there'll be no slouch. A lot of other games will probably go. Maybe the Blooper game will go on Xbox or something. Try and keep everybody happy. You know how it is. You know how it is. All right, come. Let's see. Doing well. Nice. Good to hear it. Do you think they will make another Silent Hill movie? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think the second one did very well, but the first one did. Who knows? I don't think it's really anything got to do with Konami, though. You know, they just will just give them the license to use the name Silent Hill, but they wouldn't have any development themselves. You know, they might get a little brief look over, like, can we use Pyramid Head or whatever, you know. But I would love to see them do something around the room, because Silent Hill, the first movie was based on the first game, but they swapped it around for the female protagonist, and the second movie was based around the third game, as confusing as that is, but they made a kind of a shit show of that one. And then yeah, so with Silent Hill for The Room, it takes place obviously inside a room where this guy's he's trapped inside a room, but been haunted by these horrible apparitions, but he's able to find these creepy, like, dark holes, like tunnels, that he's able to visit Silent Hill and all these other places, and then he comes back to the room. So it's really cool. There was ghosts and everything in that one. It's wild. So that would be cool. Psychological horror, especially in games, needs to be done well. Yeah, it does. It does. There's so many of them. Like, they're almost walking simulators now at this point, which is kind of sad. Like, every game does not need combat, like, you know, for sure. Absolutely, for sure. But to me, when you're dealing with these big franchises, then to take combat away from them, like, imagine a Resident Evil without combat. You know, people would fucking go crazy. They'd go crazy. So yeah, we'll see. Until Dawn wasn't really good to begin with. Yeah, I mean, it's still like, at the end of the day, it's still like a slasher horror, you know. And they've always, even going back to, like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, they've always had this kind of it's always like a gory body shock. You know, they've become classics now, but back then when you went to see them, it was just somewhere to bring your date, you know. They were kind of cheesy and campy, but in the best possible way, you know. And I think Until Dawn embodies that. It's so cheesy and campy. It really is. But it has some cool moments. I think what happened with that game, and it's something that thankfully is dying off, but it relied far too heavy on gimmicks and QTEs and put the controller, don't move the controller, that kind of shite. I hate that kind of stuff. It should be left where it should be in, you know, the motion era, the motion control era, with the Wii, the Kinect, and the PlayStation Move, you know. Let it die. Let it die. I think Team Ico, yes, they do. Now, Lacuna, that's funny you bring that up. I can't talk about that too much, but a friend of mine was streaming. She was streaming The Last Guardian, and she had one of the actual, like, artists who worked on The Last Guardian come in, and he's basically said, you know, watch this space. Next year, they will announce possibly a new game. Now, obviously, Team Ico is no more. You know, that was part of Japan Studio, which is kind of gone, which is so sad. Sony foolish for getting rid of Japan Studio, but there you go. So that studio is kind of gone, and, you know, it took 9 years for The Last Guardian to come out, so it was obviously not just that labor of love, but probably a lot of pain and anger that went on getting that game to the finish line, you know. So it broke up the team. He started his new he started his new team, which is now called Gen Design. I think they also helped out, basically just finishing up things with, you know, obviously getting Last Guardian out the finish line. So yeah, they'll be working on, so whatever he makes, you know, Ueda, awesome, fucking incredible director, visionary as well. Whatever he makes, it's gonna be amazing. I'll definitely keep an eye on that one. Between Ico, or Eco if you want to call it, whichever one it is, Shadow Colossus and The Last Guardian, it's definitely like, you know, incredible trilogy for sure. Shadow of the Colossus still remains my favorite, but they're all perfect in their own little way, you know, different experiences. I would love to see Ico get a remake, because we've been spoiled with the Shadow of the Colossus remake, but who knows? Who knows what could happen? It all comes down to how much they sell, you see. So if you want something else to be made, if you want a sequel to a game, fucking buy the other game, you know, even if it's on sale. Just buy it. Buy the damn thing. Do not pirate video games. I know you might have hatred towards certain devs and you want to do this and that, but, you know, try and support these devs in any way possible. Even if you buy them on sale, it helps a little bit. You know, they're not going to get as much of a cut of the profit, but it helps to know that people want. That's why they do these remasters. Honest to God, if you want to know the real reason, it's to drum up support, money, obviously. But, you know, this is why they do remasters and collections. You might say, Jesus, not another remaster. But they usually do it like a year or two beforehand. Before they're like, okay, we're working on this one. Let's see if there's enough people that actually want this game before we move into full production. It's interesting. But I would love that, yeah. Let's see, wait another 5-10 years for them to make another amazing game. Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of games. If you're like a huge fan of Shadow of the Colossus, there's so many games that have kind of spiritual successors and copied the formula. Even the new Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, in my opinion, takes a lot from Shadow of the Colossus with those, you know, the divine beasts. But one that should be coming out this year is called Pray to the Gods, and it's basically Shadow of the Colossus in the snow. It's got a grappling hook like fucking Zelda. It looks amazing. So check that one out. Solar Ash is another one as well. It's made by the Hyperlight Drifter devs. That looks very like Shadow of the Colossus. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I will report on it as soon as we hear some news. If we get some, you know, Silent Hill goodness, I hope so. I really do. It would be awesome. All right, on to the last little piece of news. I don't like to keep these going too long, but this is a bit of a big old rumor. We've had a lot of rumors, but this one's all about Bully 2. Now, we've all wanted a Bully 2 for a long time, and it's been rumored to be in development for a long time as well. The last time that Rockstar basically acknowledged its existence was back in 2013, which is a long time ago now. But the fact back then, even at that point, we realized that yes, it was in some form of development, you know. And now a lot of people believe that with the recent news of GTA 6 basically being pushed back a little bit as they keep fucking around with ideas and that, I had initially thought that we'd get GTA 6 by 2023. It looks like it's probably closer to 2025 now at this point, which is kind of shitty. But this leaves things open for something new. Something we've all wanted for a long time. Bully 2. Could they be doing this? I know we have got, you know, Red Dead Redemption not that long ago. But it's funny, like, Bully 2 has never been far from people's minds. Like, the rumors, I had heard that it was going to be set in the 80s. You were going to be playing as, like, a female protagonist. We'll see. I don't know. Like, every time anybody reports on this stuff, it just feels like a dream, you know? Bully 2 is almost up there with, like, Half-Life 3. But, you know, we got games like Shenmue 3. We got The Last Guardian. We got Final Fantasy 7 Remake. Anything is possible. Never give up hope. Never give up hope. And the reason the new rumors for Bully 2 have been sparked is because Rockstar Games have trademarked Bully 2 3 times this year. 3 different times. It goes back in April of this year. They re-registered the trademark for Bully 2, which is usually... Now, this is usually something that just happens anyway, just so nobody steals the name. This happens no matter what, you know. It might mean nothing, or it could mean everything. I think if they're gonna do this right, either give us a Bully remaster, because it's like that's another game that's trapped on old generations. You know, you can play it on Xbox, fine, all well and good, but try and get it on other platforms is a disaster. So that'd be cool, and obviously, like, yeah, give us Bully 2. It is time, and that would give them enough of a cheeky window if they need another 2 or 3 years for GTA 6. So be it. I mean, we're already at the point where GTA 5 came out in 2013, so it's insane. Absolutely insane. Now, the funny thing is, the reason why I think also that this may be happening is that it's also celebrating the 15th year anniversary of Bully 2. Now, not all anniversaries get celebrated. We saw this with The Legend of Zelda. No 35th anniversary collection, which I still think is madness, and I hope it's untrue. But we'll see. It'd be cool to see Bully too. Like I think Red Dead Redemption 2 showed that definitely they still can put out incredible games, but they have hefty budgets and hefty development time. Like it sounds like Red Dead Redemption 2 took upwards of like 5+ years, maybe even as much as 8 years. It's fucking insane. It's insane. So yeah, we'll see. But I'm always glad, like with the Shadow of the Colossus remake, and then they gave it away with PS Plus. I'm so glad to see a new generation get to play that game because, you know, that's from 2005. That's PS2. A lot of people will not go back and play those games because, unfortunately, people think, like, you know, the older gaming crowd will gatekeep stuff, which is sometimes necessarily true. But I have noticed that a lot of the newer generation of gamers tend to just, you know, dismiss a lot of the older generation and stuff, you know. So it sucks, you know, if it's not Fortnite and Roblox and Minecraft, they don't want to know about it. But a nice selection of people. It's not just the vocal minority, but they do have a nice appreciation, and that's great to see. That's great to see because the classics, you never want the classics to die. I have Ico on Shadow Colossus and it's remastered. Nice, cool. Do you have the PlayStation 3 HD Classics collection? That's pretty good. I think they added 3D to that one, which is pretty clever idea. Now, poor 3D didn't last too long, but still nice to hold on to that collection. That'll be worth something. I still have my PS2 copy of Shadow Colossus. It has a beautiful sleeve on it and these art cards, and I know that's worth a few bob. But yeah, you should definitely get The Last Guardian. You know, if you're in the market for a PS5 when they finally become a little bit more common to find, The Last Guardian will be waiting for you there because there's the PS Plus Games Collection. So when you start up your PS5, you're greeted with 20 free games, most of them first-party games. But there are games like Persona 5, Monster Hunter World, Resident Evil 7, The Last Guardian's in there as well. So yeah, try and think about that kind of stuff before you double dip and triple dip. It's no harm. It's no harm. How's it going, Pyro? I love them and still replay them. Yeah, they're so good. Holy shit. Anything before PS3, Xbox 360, a lot of people tend to dismiss. I know it's super messed up. Like, I was even laughing saying, geez, are we at the point now where PS2 is considered classic? I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, what makes classic? Is it 20 years? Well, so be it. That means PS2 is classic. It's mad. A lot of PS2 games hold up quite well. I agree, dude. I mean, especially when a lot of us have been playing the Star Wars games. I've mentioned so many. I wish they would add more of them to the PS Now stuff because it's looking a bit bare bones. But yeah, I agree completely, dude. I mean, there still was a little bit of, you know, kind of 3D teething and all that going on where you'd have some games where like, oh my god, what the hell were they thinking? But there was some great stuff. Great. It's probably maybe, you know, the GOAT generation, I think, the PS2. It was a bulletproof console. The amount of RPGs, like, oh my god. Like, PS4 was pretty fantastic, but there's been just, you know, ever since the online era happened, there's just been a lot of little bumps on the road, whether it's like your shit getting leaked back in 2011 on the PS3, or, you know, PS4 having any kind of downtime. Same with Xbox, you know, nobody's exempt from it, but, you know, there's always been little bumps. But back then, no one gave a fuck about it. We didn't have online unless you had a big Japanese peripheral that could add online to your PlayStation. But you didn't care. And there was no updates, no nothing. You put the fucking disc in, you played it forever and ever and ever, and you were just a happy kid. So I feel like PS2 era was the last before, yeah, everything turned into a kind of PC, for better or for worse, you know? So yeah, it's the last of the golden era, in my opinion. Money saved for PS5, yeah, don't worry. Whatever you do, don't pay more than the asking price, man. I pre-ordered mine, like, back in... It was like September of last year or something. No, I think whenever they became available. And it took like 5 months to get it. I didn't get it till February of this year. So it's out there. And, you know, I got it through GameStop. And, yeah, it was a disaster. They had such a really bad system that what happened was when everything fell asunder with the pandemic, they were like, okay, we're just going to start selling them willy-nilly. Instead, what they should have done is reopen pre-orders to keep people. So I had a choice. We're like, we can give you your refund for €500 right now, or you can stay in the queue. And I stayed in the queue. And I think it worked out. It paid off. It's a fantastic console. But trust me, wait. You're all good, you know. Do not pay like $1,000 or $2,000. Do not give in to the scalpers. Don't let them win. Because trust me, the longer you wait, They're going to hash out the hardware problems. You're going to have a lovely library of games instead of what all we got now is Demon's Souls, Ratchet and Clank, and Returnal. It's that's not enough, you know. But it does play all the old games better. But you don't buy a new console for $500 to play old games on it, right? So yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I think hopefully if we get Horizon Forbidden West this year, maybe October, that's what I'm thinking. It'd be amazing. That would be, you know, the moment. The moment. PS3 was the best for me. Nice, nice. I didn't have a PS3. I went from PS2 to Xbox like a mad bastard because the PS3 was so expensive here. It's like €699. I'm like, ha, ha. So I just got a 360, and yeah, I don't regret it. I don't regret it. I got to play some games on PS3 though. I got to play Heavenly Sword. What was that game called? It was like Genji Blade or something. Genji Hunt for the Blade, something like that. I played that one. Heavenly Sword was amazing. I played a little bit of Demon's Souls and got whooped. Like, my god, I got whooped. So now I didn't even get to defeat the Flame Lurker. What else? Folklore, which I wanted it because it was Irish. That was actually really fun. I wish it would come back. Folklore was cracking. More like the start of the golden era. I don't know. I don't think PS3 and the PS4 and now the PS5, I don't think we're in the golden era. But, I mean, it's still, you know, at that point where, because people just trash games and give death threats to fucking developers and all that. Like, it's horrible. I know that's nothing to do with how good a game is, but I'm sorry, that is part of this industry now, and I have to bring that up. You know, social media has kind of fucked things more than helped it. So yeah, it doesn't feel like a golden era right now. It feels like a toxic era. But there's some great games though. The games never looked better, never played better. But also games have never released in worse condition. Like even E.T. released better, and that game was like the game that caused the crash to the video game industry. But at least it fucking worked. It was a shit game, but it worked. Now you got games coming out like fucking Cyberpunk and Dungeons and Dragons. It just doesn't even fucking work right. Good God. Anyway. Call of Duty wasn't very good before Modern Warfare. Oh, dude. Well, let's see what happened with Modern Warfare. I don't agree with that, but yeah, that's all good. It's all good. I love the old World War Call of Duties. Because FPSs were in such a weird place, dude. Because they were all shifting over from, you know, Doom and Wolfenstein and Quake and all that. So you're trying to get into more 3D. So it was so funny back then. There was a lot of stupid shit. But they were pretty epic for the time, you know. Because you had things like Saving Private Ryan coming out and all these great war movies. And everybody just wanted to play them. And then, yeah. But I know what you mean. Like, Modern Warfare was so important. And that was like the era of YouTube and that then, you know. It's crazy. Many people to this day started their YouTube channels and Twitch and everything with Call of Duty. Every time. Dr. Disrespect. Even people who have no business like playing Call of Duty now. They're probably like Fortniters or whatever. They started with Call of Duty. Most people did. So yeah, it is a very, very important game for the whole industry for sure. Especially Muddy Wuddy. Muddy Wuddy. Muddy Wuddy. PS3 COD Muddy Wuddy was the end of the goal. Oh, it was definitely the beginning of the new era, right? For sure. But I know what you mean. Like, at the end of the day, each generation is going to have their own personal golden era, right? Hell yeah. So there's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer. It's all good. So yeah, there we go. Busy day for news. We have the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut with the brand new Ikishima Island expansion. You can upgrade to the Director's Cut on PS4 for $20, or you can upgrade to the Director's Cut on PS5 for $30, or you can buy it brand new for full retail price. So it's a pretty good way of upgrading. Then next we talked about a lot of Konami stuff with Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid. Possibly, maybe Bluepoint might be remaking Metal Gear Solid. And then Blooper, who worked on Layers of Fear, Layers of Fear and The Medium and Blair Witch, may be doing a new Silent Hill game. So we'll see. Lots of stuff coming. Then we talked about Dead Space. Very small little bit of acknowledgement where they've changed their profile picture on YouTube. So something is waking back up. That account was not accessed for 8 years. So somebody came back in, they found the password, got back in, so something might be happening. We gotta wait till the end of July for that one, but here's hoping. And then finally, Bully 2 rumors, always circulating around, always. But apparently, they've re-registered the trademark for the game 3 times this year alone. which would be fucking amazing if we got like a remaster bully. I think we've had a couple already, but yeah, be nice. Be nice for sure. Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are the best out of all the COD games. Yeah, they've never really truly recaptured the magic. What do you guys think of the PS Plus games? Giving away Black Ops 4, Plague Tale Innocence, a super fun game, and then WW2K Battlegrounds, which is kind of a cartoony WWE. What do you think about that? Not bad, right? Yeah, I like Ghost. Call of Duty Ghost or Ghost of Tsushima? I think probably Ghost, because I know you're a big fan of Call of Duty Ghost. You think they'll ever come back to it? Black Ops 1 2 were good. The ones I was thinking this, right, Lacuna? I was thinking they split off Black Ops. You know, we're up to like Black Ops 5 now. I think they should split it off. Just because, honest to God, saying like Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War. Oh, God, for fuck's sake. It's such a mouthful. I know no one calls it that. It's just Blops 5 or whatever. I got Blops. Dude, I had to ring up the doctor. I'm like, I got Blops, man. I got Blops. It's completely fine. Have you been playing Call of Duty? I have. Okay, well then just go outside and touch some grass, drink some water, and maybe your testosterone levels will go back up. Alright. If there's Dead Space 4, I wonder if Isaac Clarke... Yeah, that's the question, right? Will they kill him off? That would be interesting. Not good. I've had BO4 since release. If you've had BO since release, then... you're gonna have to check that out, man. Chronic BO is a killer. Speaking of BO, it is hot as balls in this country right now. And I just see everybody going around just trying to survive, you know? Just trying not to melt. Good times. If you're out here melting, be careful. Cold War's first COD game I haven't gotten since I started. That's all good. What really made the joke was that they're giving away Black Ops 4, and you're going to be able to play Blackout on it. Which actually a lot of people preferred, which was the old Battle Royale they had. Now it's all Warzone, baby. That's what I would do, right? That's what I do, right? Split off Black Ops, let it become its own thing. Black Ops 6, 7, whatever you want to do. Then let Warzone become its own standalone thing. It practically is anyway. And then just, yeah. I don't know. Now that Battlefield 2042, which is the new Battlefield coming out, that's just completely done away with single player and Battle Royale. They're just going full force with their new idea. I hope it works out for them. 128 players per map. Lots of new modes. Could be exciting. But as someone like me, stupid as I am, I only play them for the campaign. It doesn't rustle my jimmies enough, sadly. I suck at multiplayer. I never have enough hours because I play too many games, so I can't put the time to get better. So it's just like blah, 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 blah. So I suck. I suck at shooters. I don't have no problem admitting that. Took me many years of therapy, but I can admit I suck at shooters. I suck at most games, let's be honest. But the fun is in the bad gameplay, right? Black Ops 4, but it's still trash. Oh, damn. I know Queenie and Fire Lily and a couple of people in the community, massive fans. So, yes, I want to say that with the tiny text. You're all good. We don't all have to be friends. Or, that's a funny one. We don't all have to be fans of these games. Friends. Imagine people, like, losing friendship over, I don't like this game, but you like it. Fuck you, I never speak to you again. Probably. You know? Probably. Like Ghost 2, but very few people did. There was a rumor they would make a Ghost 2. Yeah. The problem with Ghost, right, as much as it sucks, it was the cross-gen game, right, for the Xbox One and PS4 and all that. And I got that stupid meme around fish physics. Look at the fish. Wow, fish. And no one would let that down. And no one remembers a damn thing from the story, the average gamer, besides these stupid fish physics. That really sucks, because I think it had some cool ideas. It was a nice direction. Most certainly better than Advanced Warfare and Infinite Warfare, in my opinion, which just felt like Black Ops again. It's just AdMax. It's World War II. Yeah, see, I think if they went back to any more of the old wars, that you'd go fucking crazy, Pyro. That's what I think. So Battlefield have seen that it's not worked out for them with Battlefield 1 and Battlefield 5. The biggest issue with that game, my personal opinion, is they went for a mission-based campaign. It's just complete mess, you know? There's some great, like, moments, but they just feel like set pieces from a movie jumbled around, you know? This one's the train mission. This one's the desert mission. Instead of, we like our stories. I think the Modern Warfare remake was fucking awesome. The campaign was amazing. It felt like I was playing, what's that movie? I keep wanting to call it Sekiro. It's not. It's a new military movie. Well, it's not that new now. I don't know what the fuck it's called. Anyway, it reminded me of playing that. It's like Shakira or something. Anyway. Alright. Yeah, they need a real campaign. I still like the campaigns, you know. I still like them. Alright, we're going to move over. We're going to play a little bit of Ender Lilies, which is this lovely Metroidvania game. Very tough as balls, but I've been enjoying the hell out of it. And then we'll do a little Demon Souls after that. So it's a busy, busy day. I love it. Thank you for joining me. This was today's Daily Dose of Gaming. We're into July now. Plenty more news where that came from. Oh, yes. And a rumored Sony event coming. I will keep you guys up to date. As soon as I hear something, you guys will hear something, alright?